Welcome back to the channel. Hey, family vacations have been and always will be a controversial topic when it comes to Las Vegas.
Flashback.
What's up, guys? Jordan and Ashton here from Show Me Vegas.
We finally made it back to Las Vegas together, but we're not alone this time.
You know, they say Vegas isn't for kids, and we would tend to agree, but sometimes you've got to make an exception. So in this video, we're doing Vegas a different way.
The family-friendly way.
To 6 weeks later.
Well, we wanted this to be a completely different video. We intended for this to be a vlog following us around for 3 days, showing you what we did and how much it costs, and whether we had fun or not. That turned out to be a lot more difficult than we thought it was going to be. Family vacations have been and always will be a controversial topic when it comes to Las Vegas. On the one hand, there are people who believe that other people have no business whatsoever bringing their kids to Sin City.
Clark, I don't think that Las Vegas is the kind of place you take a family.
On the other hand, there are people who swear up and down that Las Vegas is a family-friendly destination.
Las Vegas has changed, Ellen. It's the #1 family destination in America.
Nevertheless, because we've now had a family vacation to Las Vegas, we think it's important for us to tell you whether we think kids belong in Las Vegas, and if you're going to do it, what you need to know. Kids in Las Vegas, controversial, yes. Necessary? I think so. Let's get into it. We'll break this video down into 3 categories, assuming you're thinking about a family vacation to Las Vegas. Those categories are where to stay, how to get around, and what to do. Stick around until the end and we'll tell you whether we would do it again and whether we would recommend it to you. The first decision is going to be where to stay, but I don't just mean what hotel. You've got basically 3 broad options as a tourist to Vegas. Do you stay on the Strip? Do you stay off-Strip? Or do you stay downtown? Let's have a look at the pros and cons of all 3. Right off the bat, you need to eliminate Fremont Street if you're bringing a family to Las Vegas. The Fremont Street experience is not child-friendly in any way, shape, or form, and there is no business for kids to be on Fremont Street, especially after dark. That may sound like an awfully strong opinion, but frankly, it's common sense. There is very little for kids to do downtown outside of perhaps the container park, but there is plenty that they might see that would certainly speed up their aging process. That leaves you with the Strip or an off-Strip hotel. People are always quick to point out that as a major metropolitan city, Las Vegas has tons of families and there are tons of things for kids to do. But if you intend to stay in the suburbs and do things local families do, then you're probably better off vacationing in Phoenix or Atlanta or Houston or Dallas, larger cities that have even more things for families to do. I mean, if you're vacationing in Vegas, you're going there because it's Vegas. And what makes Vegas unique is primarily on the Strip. Now that you've narrowed it down to a specific place like we did with the Strip, choosing the right hotel, and maybe more specifically the right hotel room, can make or break your family vacation. While there certainly aren't as many as there used to be, believe it or not, there are several hotels on the Las Vegas Strip that have a pretty sizable number of family-friendly attractions. Places like Excalibur with its medieval theming, Tournament of Kings show, and Fun Dungeon Arcade, New York, New York, with its arcade, Big Apple Coaster, and easy access to the park and T-Mobile Arena. Circus Circus with the Adventure Dome, SpongeBob attraction, and Midway Arcade. Older kids might be impressed by a themed hotel like Luxor or Venetian, but no matter what you do, consider the room type. Anyone who's ever been on a family vacation knows it's not a lot of fun to be crammed into a small space with your entire family. So whatever you do, choose a hotel within your budget that offers enough space for you and your family. Whether that's adjoining rooms at a lower property like Excalibur or Luxor, or a suite at a nicer property like the Venetian or Vidara, finding the right balance between location and room size is vital. You'll thank me later. We were lucky enough to have a gaming offer from Venetian Rewards for a nice suite that didn't break the bank and still had 2 queen beds and a separate living room, allowing us plenty of space to spread out and get out of each other's hair for a while. If you want to see that room in more detail, check out this video where we detailed our stay at the Venetian. Once you've decided where you're going to stay in Las Vegas, now it's time to talk about transportation, and that brings me to the sponsor of this video, JMC Transportation. If you've watched Show Me Vegas for very long, you know that George and his crew are our preferred limousine provider in Las Vegas, and for good reason. JMC's service and prices are second to none. If you want to find out more, go to jmclimousine.com or scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. There you'll find information about all of their services and pricing. If you want to see more of the experience, be sure and check out this video where we'll show you the full limousine experience with JMC. Hey, when you're taking a ride in Las Vegas, kids or no kids, why not go all out? And with George, you can't lose. Once again, check him out at jmclimousine.com, scan the QR code, or look in the description box for a link. Okay, maybe you aren't going to go the limousine route on a family vacation, and if not, renting a car is always a solid option. But if you still don't want that responsibility or cost, there are some things you need to know about getting around. Uber, Lyft, and taxis are easy to find and relatively affordable, but don't forget that just because you're on vacation, that doesn't mean you're exempt from basic rider safety laws. If your child requires a booster or car seat in your neck of the woods, they also do in Vegas. Once you're on the Strip, keep in mind the sheer distance from hotel to hotel, and know that if it seems like a long walk to you, it will feel twice as long to your child. You're going to need transportation of some sort. Public transportation like the Deuce bus and the monorail are always an option, but they also have their flaws. In the case of the Deuce, it can get crowded and require long waits for a ride. Long story short, research in advance and make a plan for your transportation throughout the trip. Traveling with kids makes your trip to Vegas a lot less go with the flow. Trust me, after just a few hundred yards, your kids are not going to be happy about walking anymore. It takes "are we there yet?" to the next level. Now it's time to talk about what there is for kids to do in Las Vegas, or more specifically on the Strip. Yes, there are tons of things that might appeal to kids, from arcades, which can be found at several properties, to certain museums like Madame Tussauds Wax Museum or the Museum of Selfies, to rides and attractions like the roller coaster at New York, New York, the Adventure Dome at Circus Circus, or the High Roller. If you have an older child, you could go to Area 15 or spring for a ticket to a sporting event like a Golden Knights game, but whatever you do, plan it in advance. For adults, Vegas is great when you just go with the flow, wander the Strip aimlessly, take in the sights and sounds, and just do whatever the mood strikes you. But when you have kids with you, that's not going to cut it. You need to have a plan. We planned pretty much all of our activities in advance. We pre-bought activity passes to Area 15, we made meal reservations weeks ahead of time, we bought tickets to a Vegas Golden Knights game about a week before our trip, and we bought high roller tickets through Planin the morning of our third day before we left the hotel room. Knowing what you're going to do before you leave the room is vital when you're doing Vegas with kids. If you do happen to find yourself strolling the boulevard with kids in tow, especially kids of an impressionable age, make sure you've talked to them about some of the things they might see. Why? Well, you might want to make sure they know in advance not to take things that are being handed to them. Things that might turn out to be escort cards or beads from a quote-unquote monk, or a compact disc being handed out by an aspiring hip-hop artist. A monk, if you will, tried to hand our son beads on the Strip, and he politely declined because he knew ahead of time not to take it. And of course, when you're planning your activities, keep in mind, please, that kids are strictly forbidden in casinos. Yes, they can pass through, but they are not allowed to loiter, even if for just a few seconds. Don't be those parents who sit down at a slot machine with their kids sitting against the wall, just patiently waiting. You will be asked to leave. It is the law, and the casinos are going to strictly adhere to that law. They don't take kindly to kids hanging out for any length of time in the casino. You are still in Vegas, however, and if your kids are old enough like ours was, you might do something like this. So one of the great things about bringing older kids to Las Vegas is if you trust them, you can leave them in the room while you go downstairs and have a little bit of adult time. He brought us PlayStation.
We're golden.
We made sure of it. Ooh, look how big it is. That's what she said. There you have it, some of the most important things you need to know if you're thinking about taking kids on a family vacation to Las Vegas. And now the most important question, now that we've done it, would we do it again? Absolutely not. Unfortunately, it just totally changed the way we Vegas. We weren't able to have that typical Vegas trip that we're accustomed to, and let's face it, that's why we go to Vegas in the first place. To top it all off, our son, who was 13, wasn't all that impressed, and he himself didn't have that great a time. Hey, your mileage may vary, but for us, in the future, Vegas is an adults-only destination. Hey, thanks for watching this one, guys. If you found it informative or enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you get notified anytime we drop new content. Don't forget to check out our other social media. Links are in the description box down below. And once again, check out JMC Limousine. George is the best driver you're going to find in Vegas. We're confident in that. That's it for this one. I'll see you in that next video, guys, because there's always more for us to show you on Show Me Vegas.